Since when is humanity and accountability opposite? Who's filling up the prison systems? Ex-athletes. A few Friday nights are the only time that you feel like you are somebody. Exclusively
Beyond the game.
the prison reform and athletes, sports can be a tool for rehabilitation.
It can help them reconnect to their body.
Feel that mind, feel that body, feel that soul. The system is built to make it nearly impossible to be rehabilitated. I think November Saturdays could be a grant partner with the NFL.
Yeah, one day.
A lot of people find out about incarceration, drug addiction, all of that is when it's on their front door knocking. And then they're like, oh my God. It takes a strong-willed person to even want to obtain knowledge on a subject like that without it being knocking on their front door. I just kind of got born into it. You care enough about humanity, you know that you want to obtain the knowledge. And that's amazing because there's not a lot of people like that. We can go back to November Saturdays 1,000 times over because that's exactly all the key points that we're trying to hit, and we're trying to eventually build initiatives for these purposes.
Right.
And it's generational trauma, which is when a child comes into this world, that generational trauma starts with that child, because they're being raised by adults that had the generational trauma that never broke it. So now that child comes in the world, and it's like an automatic thing.
Yep, that's all they know.
Grows up in an environment of having absentee parents, or maybe being in a home where drug addiction is a constant way of life. And they're never given love. They're never given discipline. They're not taught how a child should be taught. It doesn't matter what kind of home you grow up in, what kind of neighborhood you grow up in. That has nothing to do with the people behind the doors, behind the walls, inside that home. Your monetary status, your social status does not exempt you from drug addiction, incarceration. Some people are not equipped with the tools and resources necessary so that they have the best fighting chance in life. So it's just situations like that. You know, you're a mom. Imagine if you were addicted to something and how absentee you would be in their life, and
Right.
the trauma that it would be causing for them to, you know, maybe you're strung out on something and you fall asleep and your child's like crying, scared, hungry. It happens, and it happens.
That makes me so sad. That reading
Mhm.
stories about stuff like that is just awful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it makes me,
Eh.
as a parent especially, it's like, I don't understand.
Yeah. And you see it from a parent standpoint, which is, I mean, yeah, I hate that for a child, because that child grows up and will soon be looking for what it's missing at home, which is love, acceptance, being heard, being seen. And then they get like a little bitty, like this much of like, oh, like, hi, you want to come sit with us? You want to come hang out with us after school? And then it's like, oh, wow, like they like me, they see me, they hear me, they accept me. And then, I mean, after school lunch, it's like, hey, go back and like, and then they're getting caught up in this whole like friend group where they think that they're being loved, they think they're finally being accepted, they're finally being heard, they're finally being seen, and the things that these people are doing are going to lead them down a very, very long, dark road. But it's the only type of attention, worthiness they've ever had. So it's like not everyone has those core traits or values or morals, because you're like, well, you should just know better. If you're not taught better, how are you expected to know better? A lot of times, like from my experience being with someone and that these things were happening, and he was an athlete, and he loved, I mean, any sport. He would play any sport. And that's what he cared about. That's all he cared about. But he did not come from a home that he was accepted, seen, loved, heard, taught the core essentials needed to develop a young man or young woman. And where was he getting the only place he was really, really getting taught those core values, essentials, was football practice, basketball practice, track.
But that's only a couple hours out of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and some days you might not have practice or a game,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just like
You're with that group of friends.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then you're getting more of that. And, you know, you practice all week, you practice all year for a few Friday nights. And those few Friday nights are the only time that you feel like you are somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad because you are somebody 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Not just while you have a helmet on, not just when you're scoring touchdowns or making tackles or throwing a good pass or kicking a good field goal. Those are not the only times that you are somebody. And that's where your identity comes in also into play. And you don't know what your identity even is because you have your identity at home where you're invisible identity as an athlete, especially if you're, you know, a good athlete. When talking about the NIL, you know, comes into play, talking about like resources and stuff. And it's when these players, you know, they get this money and they're on social media and they're just like, I'm making it rain.
Flashing jewelry.
Mm-hmm. And then they end up getting fined, losing their scholarships. And I'm sure there's rules and regulations. That's all I'm talking about, like learning the rules and regulations, because I've never had an NIL contract handed to me. Typically, from my
Possibly.
possibly from my opinion, you know, somebody was letting it slide too much. But it's like, so now it's just like, okay, we're gonna rid you of everything we just gave you. So what are you doing to a child that probably already comes from a place where they are taking care of their family and they are doing this? And we've all had a night out where I've never flashed money. I've never had it to flash or, but I mean, who's to say that like any of us could go out one night, could be photographed doing something that's not even what you were actually intending to do.
Out of context. Yeah.
So out of context. So then you have that person and it's just like, okay, we're going to rid you of everything. And goodbye. You just lost your scholarship. Their identity was just they're stripped away. And then what happens? They end up, you know, selling drugs, getting involved in gangs, getting involved in this and that. And then comes incarceration. So now what do you have? Who's filling up the prison systems? Ex-athletes. I watched Cue Ball today. San Quentin Warriors. And it's a basketball team inside the San Quentin prison in California. Watching Cue Ball and watching the Alabama solution makes me so ashamed to be from Alabama. So ashamed. There was a guy, his name is Harry ATL Smith. Like, he's the Stephen Curry of San Quentin Warriors. Yeah, he's in there balling. He's originally from Atlanta. He went to California to play for D1 basketball. So he goes out there, and then whatever the circumstances led up to, he just ended up not getting to play. So then he's out in California, you know, just lost his identity of being,
Moving
and
across
then
the country.
He came from like a very good family, very good background, and yeah, he just gets out. He's out there, and he's just, you know, living that like life that you soon to get wrapped up in. But they would play at the end of the season, so they would play. You know, they would have people coming off the streets, like teams, like rec teams, come in and play the prisoners. Heck yeah.
That's the longest yard type stuff.
That is, yeah, I loved it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
They get to play, like, that gives them something to look forward to. They're getting up every day, and they're like, we're going to go out here and play some basketball.
And it might give them like a new type of confidence, like if they do beat the men on the street.
They didn't play like Stephen Curry, but they played at the end of the season, at the end of the whatever time period, they get to play some people from the Warriors. I mean, they got to hold the trophy. And then one dude was like, Charles Barkley didn't ever even get to do that. Like, you see, I'm in prison and I got to touch the trophy, and Charles Barkley ain't never touched a trophy. Shout out Charles Barkley. I do love him. He's from Alabama. So he's from Leeds, Alabama, actually. Charles Barkley is. So yeah, the coach. So one of the guys is in prison. He's a coach, and he is like he's so serious. He said the meanest, toughest, most stubborn, hard headed, like, you know, those guys are like, I'm never going to a self help group.
I don't need that.
Heck no. Like, I'm in here. I know what I did. Check me for it. But they will show up to play basketball. They'll show up to that court, and they learn leadership. They learn purpose,
Structure.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of makes them accountable to a new routine.
They do. They have to sign a contract, accountability contract. Yep. And if you don't,
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
One guy, he had been smoking weed, so he got benched for 3 games. And he's
Man, I know he was tore up.
No,
too.
he said I know I accept my punishment. The structure is different than somebody with a gavel, like punishing you to lifetime in prison. One guy's in there 100. It was 100 years, 200 years to lifetime in prison for possession of a firearm because it was his 3rd strike.
What were his other 2 strikes?
I don't know, but he wasn't in there for those other 2. Yeah, if you get a 3rd strike, technically you had to be out here to get the 3rd strike. Like, sports can be a part of rehabilitation. That cue ball shows that sports can be a tool for rehabilitation.
It can help them reconnect to their body instead of going out here and trying to numb it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly. Yep. Feel that mind, feel that body, feel that soul. The food that they give them, it's junk. So it's like people get put in prison and the system is built to make it nearly impossible to be rehabilitated. Nearly impossible to get back out into the real world and have any kind of hope. It's so sad. The Alabama prison system has a lot more work to do before it ever gets to the cue ball phase or any kind of ball. It's disgusting watching the Alabama solution. The prison system in Alabama, the prisons in Alabama are unlivable. They have people sleeping on the floor. They have, people overdosing.
How do they get away with it so much, though?
Who? The inmates or the...
No, not the inmates.
If you go watch the Alabama Solution, it does answer a lot of questions. Alabama is paying millions of dollars a year to cover up the dirt from inside the system. So why not use those millions of dollars, and dollar bills, y'all, on building constructive resources for these prisoners? People's job is taking care of another human being. And since when is humanity and accountability opposite?
Mm-hmm. Very good point.
I don't understand that someone commits a crime. Well, somebody commits a crime and gets caught. Because I'm sure you've committed a crime and didn't get caught. And now you're like, I hate inmates. You probably should be one. I mean, Alabama is all about the Bible Belt and God when it's beneficial to their image. But then they forget, maybe they don't forget, maybe they just skip this part of the Bible.
Just sweep it.
Swerve left.
Is a basketball facility the only athletic facility prisons usually have? That's really the only one that I hear of is like, oh, the basketball goal. Besides the longest yard, I know that's a movie.
Yeah,
but you know,
I don't know for like in all the prisons and stuff like that. I don't think any in Alabama probably have any kind of facility for athletics.
Mm-hmm.
No, the only athletics happening in the Alabama prison system is our CEOs like beating on the inmates. So that's the only kind of workout they get in Alabama prison systems. So I don't think that there are any basketball courts. Just graveyards. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that was deep.
Yeah, I don't think there are. I know for sure not even jails, and we kind of the Alabama solution. It's kind of to skip over the jails. You gotta realize the people before they go to prison, they are at the county jails,
Getting booked and stuff.
Oh, they're there for years.
It's crazy.
They're there for years. Just like, yeah, the jails also do need these resources. And is it probably easy? I don't know which one it would be easier because I feel like it's almost like a brick wall. I feel like getting anything done right, the correct way, the humane way, in any kind of like system is almost impossible. Because I guess these politicians or whomever they are, I don't know what they're fighting against. Why would you not want these guys to have a chance to make a better life for themselves? Why would you not want to give them the resources that they could one day get out of prison? Because a lot of them will get out eventually. Not everyone in prison is in there for murder or rape or a pedophile. A lot of times those pedophiles are living next door to you. They're not even the ones in the prison systems. The ones that's in the prison systems are the ones that had a joint and a bag of weed selling it to probably your kid. And they're in prison.
It's crazy that you said that. Me and Paige were, I don't know why she had it pulled up, but we were looking at the sex offender list just in Limestone County. 16 pages worth of it, and it made me sick.
Yeah, but you don't hear them talking about that down there on the Capitol, do you? They're more worried about people of color, locking them up, getting them off the streets. They are.
I know. I just had to contain myself. You can't say lock them up like that.
I know.
You almost had it.
So, but that's the thing in Alabama. And I was actually raiding my sister's closet. She had a shirt. It said on the back, it was the bill from the billboard down there off the interstate, and it was like, "Go to church or the devil's gonna get you."
Oh yeah.
The sign should say, actually, I'm gonna read it for y'all. Proverbs 31:8-9. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. For the rights of all who are destitute, speak up and judge fairly, defend the rights of the poor and needy. Also says in the Bible, let's add this on the other side of the highway, going down where it says, get your Lawler stuffed potato, top 100 foods to eat in Alabama. We can leave that one. That was really good. Hebrews 13:3 says, continue to remember those in prison as if you were together with them in prison, and those who are mistreated as if you yourselves were suffering. I didn't say that. The Bible did. But I guess, I don't know what kind of version they read. Defend the weak and the fatherless. Uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed. Learn to do right. Seek justice. Defend the oppressed. Take up the cause of the fatherless. Plead the case of the widow. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovering sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed. I mean, these are just a few verses in the Bible about speaking for the voiceless and the prisoners. Like, there's a whole list of the disciples that were not following the Lord that he called. So, I mean, and that's just speaking on that part, speaking about God in this or the Bible, is because we're in Alabama. That's the Bible Belt. They want to throw that out there. So let's throw it out there. Toss it around a little bit. Yeah. So, I mean, Alabama is known as one of the biggest states in the country for football.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
roll tide down there to the prison and get together a football team. The Golden State Warriors do it in California for the basketball. Alabama is known for its, SEC football team. It's also known for having the highest homicide, suicide, and overdose rates in the nation and the prison systems. Prison is the punishment, right? You do the crime, you do the time. You don't do the crime, do the time, and then get beat. It's just so inhumane. This you get the right people in the right places. You get people speaking out. I mean, you had to look at the people that did the Alabama solution,
That's some
and
brave people.
yeah, I mean they're a group from
Inmates.
New York, I believe. And one of the producers on there, her brother is a actor, a very well known actor. Yeah. So these people are seeing there are people out there that care the Alabama apple seed.
Their mission is to confront unjust systems through research, bridge building, and advocacy in order to
Oh,
create an Alabama that prioritizes justice and opportunity for all. Their vision is an Alabama where justice and equity are central to laws and public policies. It's a part of the National Appleseed Network, which
okay.
collaborates with similar centers across
The
America.
nation. Okay.
So far, there's
Mm-hmm.
been 16 or 17 inmates that have been released early
But from
due to.
the Alabama apple seed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard of it until you,
I hadn't
came to me
either.
about it. But yeah, and then being an NFL grant partner is a huge
Mm-hmm.
deal. The NFL, they're trying to oppose a 3-strike law in Alabama through the Alabama Appleseed, which is you have 3 strikes and you're out of here. You go to if you could have a felony, you have 2 felonies, and you get a 3rd felony. I mean, you can do life in prison for a possession of a weapon. So there are a lot of people in prison off of like maybe like a burglary charge.
Yeah.
A burglary charge when they were 18 and they were doing 40 years in prison. I don't know how that makes sense. The incarceration period is extent. It's so extreme. With the November Saturdays Foundation in the Alabama Appleseed, I mean, it does go hand in hand with, but like, and we're trying to start at the youth at the beginning, but in the young athletes and try to help prevent them from getting to that point of where they are incarcerated to lower the incarceration rates in Alabama and in the entire nation. And then also, and that's when, so that November Saturday stepping in the youth or young athlete standpoint to prevent the incarceration. That is the beginning of November Saturdays. And then as it continues to grow, and that's when we would later get involved in prison reform, which would ultimately be the individuals that are in prison and they're getting released. You get out 40 years later. Can you imagine going to prison at 20 and getting out when you're 60? I mean, and then look at how technology changes.
Especially if you were 21, like back in the early 2000s, even like.
Yeah. So much has changed since then. So just imagine like they get so used to that system. They get so used to being there that they get released and then they're like, don't know what to do. Have you ever seen Shawshank Redemption?
Mm-mm.
It's a good movie. It is such a good movie. And it's based, got Morgan Freeman in it. And it is based in, a prison. And it shows some of the inside. It's a classic. It's a good movie.
I need to add to my list.
Add it to your list. It is long, but I will watch it with you and you will cry like a baby. Oh my God. Lord. Yeah, it makes me so sad. But it kind of follows the life of someone that was in prison from a young age until he was released. When he was old, he was an elderly man, and
That already makes me sad.
yeah, and then he gets out into the world after he gets released from prison, and he doesn't have anybody. He doesn't have family because he's old. I mean, everybody's passed. Everybody's gone their separate ways, and he has nobody. So what do you do in a world with like you don't know anything? And he started working at this little grocery store, bagging groceries.
Don't tell me too much.
I've seen it.
Was this based on a true story, or is it just?
I don't think so.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, it's happened.
It's true. I mean, it goes on all the time.
It does. But it's just like it's kind of like building a fictional character based on a true, inspired by true events.
Yeah.
It is such a good movie. It's today. It's happening today. It's happening somewhere right now. There's somebody somewhere right now that doesn't have anything to eat.
You can't start thinking about stuff like this.
I do, and I can't sleep at night.
I know.
It affects. I think I need to go to therapy because it affects me to an unhealthy extent that like I will be like, okay, well I shouldn't eat because I know somebody's so hungry right now that why do I deserve to eat? And that's a problem I have within myself that I need to get help with. Because how can I help somebody if I don't have the energy
or nutrition?
I gotta be ready to go. So yeah, but that's like with the systems. But like the NFL they're trying to help oppose the 3-strike law in Alabama, which is leading to overcrowding and longer sentences. So you put somebody in prison, and this is not to say that some people in jail, of course, should be in jail or prison. But there's a lot of people that are not in prison that should be, but they seem to be exempt. I wonder why that is.
I was fixing to ask you, why do you think that is?
Status. Whether it be financial status or, I don't know, they haven't been in the sun. Yeah, or they haven't been in the sun too long. That's also another status. It seems to be a big, problem. Yeah.
You catch me off guard.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Absence of pigment in your skin makes you superior to someone. I don't quite understand that. I don't know. Especially when I think Jesus probably had lots of pigment in his skin. Jesus. I'm sorry. Let me be for real. Let me be serious. I'm being so serious. I'm being so serious though. But it's true. And that, Stacy was on here. Stacy was talking about child pedophiles that should be in prison, but they're not. But their status, their social status, their financial status. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right here
under your nose. There's a lot of things going on that you don't know. And I ain't just talking about that blow. I know. I'm not a trapper. I'm just a rapper. But anyways. Yeah. Oh, and the NFL is also working with the Alabama Appleseed fighting against the 3 mega prisons. I bet how about we do this? We take those 3 mega prisons. Let's build a stadium for prisoners. I bet that'll help the Alabama football players a lot if they have to go in there and play against these prisoners.
Man, those prisoners have a different type of strength too.
But can you imagine just being locked up and having so much like pain and so much you want to like to get out to release? I would go crazy. Can you imagine waking up every day, looking at a wall, having people like in the Alabama Solution? There's a guy talks about a guy got his head chopped off, and the prisoners were having to help. The inmates were having to help hold his head on, trying to get him help. The inmates are helping other inmates try to get medical services when like these things are happening, because there are in prisons, of course we all know that there is inmate on inmate violence, of course. That's that is not acceptable, but it's gonna happen. You should never be officer onto inmate violence. To the extent it has, not to any extent. I'm not a violent person. I don't like violence. I am aggressive when I'm passionate. I don't want to
You're
put
very passionate.
I'm not going to put my hands on you anyway. I mean, I had my time where I, had a woman is a domestic partner also, and she can hit a man. That's the thing. Like, I don't know. God, I just get so upset about it. When I was younger, I used to get so mad. And I would be like, if you don't hear the words coming out of my mouth, you're going to feel it coming out of my hand. And then I had to realize that that's not okay. You should never put your hands on somebody.
We teach that as children. We teach it to our kids. Don't hit.
They still do, though.
Yeah.
But violence. And when I was watching Cue Ball, a fight broke out. I cannot stand to watch it. I can't hear it. I have to. I took my headphones off. I was like, I cannot hear this right now. I don't care what anybody. I don't care what somebody does. I don't care if somebody did something wrong to me. I do not want to see them turn around and have wrong done to them. I do not at all. I can't stand for somebody to put their hands on somebody else, to beat on somebody else. I hate that. I hate violence. I don't like it at all. I had gone to help my ex husband go to get him help, get him to the rehab, and I had just heard that he had gotten hurt. We had been divorced for a year, but I was like, I've got to go and help him get some antibiotics or something, because I didn't want it. He had a cut. I did not want it to get sepsis and then get infected, get sepsis, and then him die. And if I could do something about it, I'm going to do something about it. So I went and I found him, and he was just like, get out of here. And I'm like, no, let's go get you some, we're going to get you some antibiotics. Like, you need to take care of that. And then a fight broke out, and
while you were there.
Oh yeah, I was so mad because it was me and him were walking off, and then these guys came out to attack him. It was a group of white guys, and they called him the N-word, and they jumped on him, and oh no sir ski. And do you know who I got in there with them.
Was this in Athens?
It was, yeah. I got in there with him, and I was like, get the fuck off of him right now. I don't know who you think you are. This girl gonna come out with a cast iron skillet. I say, you got 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you gonna put that down right now?
Or I'm gonna put it down for you.
Oh, yeah. I was so, that's the thing. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a fighter at all. But when it comes to someone, for people to jump on someone and they're going to degrade someone by calling them a racial slur, who do you think you are? You need, I said a lot of things I'm not going to say on camera. Even think to put that cast iron skillet anywhere near the vicinity of the air that I am breathing. I promise you, one of us is going to be in jail and the other one's going to be in the cemetery. I do not, I would have the adrenaline of I was on meth. I'm ready to go to war. So yeah, I got in there with the guys too. I was mad. Oh, I was so mad.
I cannot imagine.
Humanity is not that hard. Maybe I just have too much of it. It's not hard. I don't know. It just really gets me heated. I don't get sit here and talk.
I know.
Yeah, but oh God, it makes me so mad. It just makes me so mad. It just pisses me off so bad. I don't know. I guess some people are sitting behind there, you know. And there's nothing wrong with having wealth. Let's say that. There's nothing wrong with having wealth, riches, status. There's nothing wrong with having nice things if you don't let those nice things have you. Be human. Understand that those things, that money, those materialistic things could be gone in a flash of an eye. And we're going to have the right Alabama solution, and we're going to get this solved. And we're going to, you know, let's get some sports teams out here. Let's really, y'all want to bet on something. Let's bet on the prisoners. Have them double dribbling down there at the Capitol. Theo Fonte that he said, you ever want to meet some brothers, just, you know, get a basketball out there and, you know, they'll come. I haven't tried it.
We should.
We
can.
I have a basketball.
It's in my ditch.
It was in the backyard. I don't know how. Yeah, how did it get there? But yeah, I have a basketball and a football. You think November Saturdays could be a grant sponsored partner with the NFL?
Yeah, one day.
Heck yeah. I think that we invest in people, not prisons. If you start investing in people, you don't need prisons.
And not the building that they're in. Well, I mean,
yeah.
the things that come in my mouth sound
I know. The things that come out of my mouth should probably stay in it. But yeah, let's like mental health facility. Let's get the right. Prison is not the answer for everyone. I understand the people that are, you know, they just want to be out here and just want to murder for fun. Honestly, it all goes back to the childhood. It does. That's why we have the November Saturdays Foundation, where we are going to bridge the gaps with generational trauma into the athletics, youth athletics, into prison reform.
I can't wait.
Heck yeah, I can't wait either. And we're going to start with Exclusively
Beyond the Game,
a women-led sports culture podcast
centered around the humanity of the game.